my eyes. And something without warning, Lord, bears heavy on my mind. When I think of you, Lord, and the world's all right with me. Gonna be alright, gonna be alright. Just one look at you, just wanna look at you, just wanna look at you. And I know it's gonna be.
I started doing this work in the early 90s based on some tragedy that happened to me growing up. So, you know, dropped out of college, ended up going back, get my undergraduate degree, got my master's degree. You know, was teaching school, doing a lot of work in prisons, and then I decided I wanted to start a company to really impact community. So I've been doing this work for about 17 years.
Seems impossible to fail.
I'm a social entrepreneur, so I run a company called the Urban Leadership Institute. We have a publishing company where we actually publish books and curriculum material to uplift families of color, predominantly African American, Latino families. We run a Saturday school for African American males named after Paul Robeson. And then we tour, we lecture, and we teach across the country in urban communities.
Lovely day, come on, it's gonna be a lovely day. It's gonna be a lovely day. Alright, it's gonna be a lovely day.
I've been crossed by friends.
Give me one.
Friends.
Give me one. Give me one situation.
My situation. Being left out is very cross sometimes.
Exactly.
Especially when you include them.
And whatever that is.
That's right.
I can dig it.
Excuse me.
I think of you, it's all right with me. It's gonna be alright, it's gonna be alright. Just one look at you, just one look at you.
Christopher's Place is a voluntary transitional house for men in East Baltimore. And many of the men are there because they were homeless. Many of the men are there because of drug addiction and incarceration. It's a safe house for them to live. They're provided with everything from GED to counseling services, computer training. They have an extensive employability department where they train, train men to be ready to go back into the workforce. So these men here actually live there. And they'll stay there for a period of time, work on some skills. It could be sobriety. It could be men are in need of counseling. It could be men are in need of a GED or some workforce development skills. Well, what we did with the men is we provide the men with Christmas gifts to then take home to their children, because we realize a lot of the men haven't been able to develop the kind of relationship with their children. As you heard, like for the one man, he's been drinking and drugging for 30 years. Doesn't necessarily have the kind of relationship that he would like to have with the children. So we feel that every child should have a Christmas.
Talk about that. I had a really good relationship with my father, but now, just to give you an illustration, I was married, divorced, and I just had a conversation with my daughter's father this morning to say that although you're doing what you're doing, you're not doing as much as you can do. And to know that it's not about money and it's not about the material things, it's really about the time and the conversations and things and the wisdom and different things that you can teach your children, boys and girls. But I understand sometimes I think men get it twisted and think that, okay, the girls are with mama and mama's going to handle everything. And in some cases that's true. And we do carry, women, we carry some weight, but understand that it is so important. I told my daughter's father, you have have open access from the day that he and I split, you know, but you have open access to be in her life. And that may not always be the situation for you, but just to know that any communication, any time that you can spend with your daughters, because what happens is that teaches, children learn about relationships from their parents. Not just about what you say, but about what you do. And so that's why sometimes our young women tend to go off and get into relationships, bad relationships, abusive relationships that they shouldn't be in, and they're seeking out love, and they're really seeking out the love from their father.
It's gonna be a lovely day. Come on, it's gonna be a lovely day. It's gonna be a lovely day. All right, it's gonna be a lovely day. The day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to face. When someone else instead of me always seems to know the way. And I think of you. It's alright with me. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Just one look at you. Just one look at you, Lord. I know it's gonna be a lovely